This is the perfect example that law is working in Ghana. See, guys, if Nigerian government is doing what Ghana government is doing to their politicians and civil servants, then Nigeria is going to be a better place, guys. Let's take a look at what the Minister of Health did in Ghana. And please, at the end of this video, kindly drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's watch.
This is a public interest question. Health insurance vis-a-vis your ministry, there are services they are providing, but patients are still paying. For instance, like pregnant women, but free maternal care. And it is happening all over the country, especially when you look at Joy FM documentation on pay or die. It is evidence. 37 Kolebu teaching hospitals, and then their patients are still paying for services that's supposed to be free. I would like to ask you, what strategy or steps are you taking to address this for Madagascar?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, when you are put in a public office, you identify challenges and your responsibility is to face the challenges. When we took office as a government, some of the challenges facing national health insurance, one, was the delay in payment, two, the capping, three, unrealistic payment of tariffs, and then the fourth one is what they call, they've given us a very nice name, but it's not a nice thing, co-payment. And so when we took office, we've taken our time to be taking the problems one after the other. Now, new tariffs have been developed. Now the uncapping has been done. Now we have prompt releases. What is left, and I must be very, very honest with the committee, is the issue of co-payment, where in some cases, when you go to some facilities, though you have the National Health Insurance card, some of the facilities will be asking you to pay more. We have not completely dealt with that, but plans are far in advance. We have stakeholders engagement. It has come up strongly, and so I will allow the CEO to throw light on the strategies we are adopting, what we are doing at the moment to deal with the issue of co-payment. CEO.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable Minister. So as Honorable Minister said, there were a few issues that were bringing this up. The irregular payments, which now we're paying monthly. The service and medicines tariffs have been reviewed. The medicines tariffs are now realistic and have been in place since March this year. The service tariffs will be implemented in a few months after Honorable Minister and the board approve it. The third one is that even despite us doing this, as the what has been mentioned, some of the facilities have people who still collect monies, and they call it co-payment or top-ups. We've set up a committee to deal with this, and we have a strict sanctions regime. So once we are also doing our part, paying regularly and paying realistically, as soon as we realize that these facilities are collecting monies which they term co-payments, which are illegal payments, we will apply those sanctions that are in our law, and it could include getting them off this scheme, which is a very important scheme. So we want to actually also name and shame. For example, I want to put it on record that Govt Hospital, they have clearly stated that they will not allow top-ups, and they are implementing that. So we are encouraging the hospitals, and there are quite a number of them, we are encouraging the hospitals that have put this in place, and we will sanction those that are doing the wrong thing. Thank you, Chair.
Please, what is top-ups in the hospitals? Yeah.
So it's the same as, they have different names, so it's the same as the co-payments and the illegal payments.
You mentioned co-payments as if it is legal, so that's, I like the way you say illegal payments. They also, you don't even call it co-payments, illegal payments, because you are not supposed to pay if you have a working insurance card, right?
So,
yeah.
Mr. Chairman, let me use your platform and this opportunity to commend the Govt District Hospital highly.
This is free.
It's free. Let me use this opportunity to commend Govt District Hospital highly for the strategies they've put in place to make sure that co-payment is not happening, and to assure the committee and the whole country that we are coming after the facilities who are tolerating co-payment in their facilities. So when it gets there, it shouldn't be I can't or no. Thank you.
Yeah, so Minister, thank you very much. Based on what Govt Hospital is doing, I think other hospitals, it's a role model. So you need to you not go beyond the recommendation and do something nice for them to project them as a best practices for the country. And also to the National Health Insurance Board, apply the rule. Enforcement of rules and the laws is killing this country. And I will implore you to enforce the law strictly, and then so that at the end of the day, to serve as a deterrent for Madagascar, because the lot is being wasted in the system. Thank you.
Minister, University Government Hospital is waiting for you, as well as the 100-bed district hospital in Nigerian. We are in your hands. You understand what I mean.
Very well,
Thank you.
Chairman.
Hey, you know how it is. Everybody knows how to do your job. Oh. So they get there. Then they ask for the front door. Where is the front door? Okay, NHIA, you are discharged. Now let's go to Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Did they show up? Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Are they here?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee, please?
Mr. Chair, I'm Simon Peter Kome, the head of accounts of the college.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. My name is Richard Adanu. I'm the rector of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons.
Thank you very much. Your financials is on paragraph 728, and Honorable Frank Yeboah will take care of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. I've gone through your accounts, and in my opinion, you're not doing badly at all. I just want to request that you take 120 seconds to explain to the committee what you do and your mandate to do what you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons is the national body for providing postgraduate medical education for doctors. So we are mandated to provide specialization courses for doctors, also to provide continuous professional development courses for doctors, to contribute to policy, that public health policy that's led by the Ministry of Health, and also to promote research in medical and surgical disciplines in the country. So that is what our mandate is, and we do that by conducting exams for doctors after they finish their house job. They do an initial exam that we call the primary examination. After they pass that primary examination, we have panels from the different specialties that interview these successful doctors. Then we place these doctors in hospitals where they do their training. And at the end of their training, there are two levels of the training. The first one is a 3-year training. In one specialty, radiology is 4 years. After the initial training, they do their exams. We conduct those exams. Then they do the advanced specialist training. That is about, let's say, 2 to 4 years. And then after that, we also do the exam for them to come out as advanced specialists in the area. So what we are looking at now is trying to spread this specialization training all over the country, because we don't have all hospitals in the country providing the specialization training. So unfortunately, doctors in certain parts of the country, when they are admitted into specialization, they have to leave their regions and go to the hospitals where the program exists, and they stay there for a number of years. And when a doctor has relocated, especially with their family, and they are in a new location for about 3-4 years, when the training ends and you say go back, sometimes it's very disruptive, and all that affects health service delivery. So we are working hard, despite the challenges that we face, to try to get the specialization training spread all over the country. I've done more than 120 seconds, but That's it.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad Minister isn't just right beside you, so it's very good. It's right beside you, so it's very good.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just to also add that, just as the rector indicated, at the moment, the training is centralized in Accra. But fortunately enough, we have secured some kind of funding, and that is going to be taken from the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, the Mahama Cares. So, you know, the Mahama Cares is dedicated towards the funding of non-communicable diseases. So we are in touch with the college, and the college has indicated that there's a huge gap about specialists treating that particular disease. And so as part of the act, it is one of the mandates of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund to fund the Ghana College of Physicians to be able to train more specialists. And so this next year, we are going to, spread them to Wa, Hohoi, and then Boko, right? Bolga. So we are going to start with these three, regions, and then we'll roll it on and on and on. Thank you very much.
Mister, Wa, Bolga, Hohoi, the middle belt is missing. Minister.
Honorable Chair, currently we do have programs going on in the Ashanti region also. At Konfanochi is a big training center. We have, as part of our expansion, we have got programs going on at the Holy Family Hospital in Techiman, and then also at Eastern Regional Hospital in Koforidua, in addition to Kolebu and a number of other hospitals in Accra. So we have been working on this gradually, but then we've been kind of like affected by availability of funds, and that's what the Honorable Minister is saying, that with this new stream of funds from the Mahama Cares Trust, it would help us to get training going. There's training going in Cape Coast also. So up north, it was only Tamale that was doing the training. That's why we are looking at that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I just, one question. I'm seeing non-tax revenue. Is it the IGF?
Mr. Chair, that is correct.
I think that you made the profit of or surplus of 3.3 million in 2022, but that increased to 30 million in 2023, representing 294.8%, which is very good. I don't think I have much to say. Your current ratio from 7.3 to 1 in 2022 to 8.3 to 1, which is also very good. You'll be able to meet your current financial obligations. The only last question I want to ask is the increase in your current assets. And the explanation is that there was an increase in receivables. So what's the component of your receivables?
Mr. Chair, the receivables is to do with the tuition fees. The tuition fees, which is outstanding.
So the tuition fee, is it paid by the doctors themselves or from somewhere?
So the tuition fees for the doctors is supposed to be paid by the government. And the arrangement that we have is that those tuition fees should be through the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you. They're doing well.
I think you've answered the next management question. You were cited for uncollected tuition fees, but then if it's supposed to be paid by the government and the government hasn't paid, and this one you don't have control over it. So, Minister, please, if you work with your colleague, Minister of Finance, to release monies to the Scholarship Secretariat, then they can also give money to them to clear this infraction. As for this infraction, it cannot be, it will not be possible for them to clear it
Chairman,
on their own. So
Mr.
respectfully,
Chairman, Mr.
assist them.
Chairman, Chief, as if you were part of our meeting yesterday.
Ah.
Yesterday when we were having,
I was with you in the spirit.
why are you being invited? I thought that they would even be invited with the secretariat, the scholarship secretariat. So they rather will come and tell us that, why haven't you paid that money? But me, who is supposed to take the money, to come and answer why they have not given me the money. So I agree with you entirely.
Honorable Minister, no, Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, you are discharged. And Honorable Minister, you're also discharged. Thank you very much for coming.
Minister, thank you. And you have to thank us for giving you this platform to also articulate your policies. It's very important.
Thank you very much for giving me the platform.
Now let's call Minister of Works and Housing.